joining from, wherever you're listening from. Maybe thank you for joining me here today. It's a great privilege that great privilege that I do not take for granted. I sincerely believe that I do not take. Sorry. And I sincerely do hope that at the end you have something to take along with you. For those who are going to be watching this later, my name is Toluche Francis, as you can see on the screen. I am popularly known as a mentalist. I am a mental health advocate and therapist. And on this channel, I'm very much interested in educating people and letting them know what mental health is all about and why it's important uh, for them. Now, I know that this is the new year, and excuse me, a lot of us have dreams. A lot of us have plans. A lot of us have things we want to do. A lot of us have found ourselves in at that position where we just want good things to come to us. Now, the truth is, you're all deserving. Everyone is deserving of good things. Everyone is deserving of great things, right? But the question you want to ask yourself is the dreams that I have, the things that I want to become, how great are they? How realistic are these dreams? And so you find yourself at that point where you need to be very sure that what you're actually talking about is the real deal, is what you really need. Now, having a dream in itself is not where the problem is. Okay, having a dream in itself is not where the issue is. It is when this dream you're not able to ask yourself if the dream you have or what you really want to have is really what you should be experiencing. And so you realize that, sorry, just a minute. And so you need to ask yourself if the dream that you have is really it, if the dream that you have is realistic enough for you as a person, or is realistic enough for you to pursue. It's very easy for you to come up and say, I want to be this, I want to be that. But hey, question, the real question isn't what you want to become. The real question is whether you even know how realistic that dream is, whether you even know if that particular dream of yours is worth it or it is real, right? And so you need to get to that point where you are able to, tell yourself clearly that this is what my dream is. Now we come at the beginning of every year, and then we have what some people call resolution, New Year resolution, and you tell yourself, "This is what I want to do. This is what I want to become this year. This is what I want to become this year," and so on and so forth. That's not bad, right? But you see, ask yourself that Hello, Yaya, can you hear me? Uh, Hi, hi,
Hello.
loud and clear. You look good.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's good to have you here. Uh,
Good to be here.
it's we're 6 hours apart.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's about, yes, it's 4:30 over there in the US. It's 10:30, 10:41 basically here in Nigeria.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you so much for having me on the show.
My pleasure, my pleasure. I mean, that's what technology gives to us. We're able to do much more without being with each other, you know.
Yeah.
So let's not take too much of the time because I'm sure you have other things to do around there. So this is Yaya Diamond, and she's a singer. She's a whole lot of things. I'm going to drop the link to her website, and then you can check it out. Basically, she runs Dream Chasers, and all reasons why I have brought her here is because this is the new year, and many of us at the beginning of the year, we have what we call New Year resolutions, we have what we call dreams and all that. But the real question is are all dreams realistic, or is there any dream that is unrealistic? At what point do we need to bring ourselves, say, hey, come, slow down? Whatever dream you have, you need to check how realistic they are. So basically, yeah, it's your floor. Please tell us at what point do you think, or should we think our dreams are unrealistic, and at what point should we just, tell ourselves the truth by saying, okay, this is it. So I'm going to hand over to you now. You have the floor. Give it to us.
Oh, thank you. You know, okay, so at what point, there's like a two-part question, and that could be kind of put down into different categories. But at what point should we slow down or say that our dreams are really truly unrealistic? Well, that depends on each and every person. So for me, an unrealistic dream is something that I haven't thought out yet, or I haven't mapped out yet, or I haven't broken down yet. So, or something that I can't do that I know I can't do. For me, that would be unrealistic. So, to make it in like a smaller kind of a fractional term, we could say if I want to conquer the world. How am I going to do that? Well, I can't just conquer the world. I have to conquer myself. From there, I have to conquer my neighborhood. And from there, maybe the 3 block radius. And then we're just moving on out from there. So, a lot of people, what they want to do to conquer the world, to make $20,000 a week or a day or whatever the case may be, they are going out and they're saying, I'm going to do this. I'm gonna build this business. I'm gonna make this a big thing. It's gonna be a big reality. But what they don't understand is there's so many micro steps that you have to take in between that big goal that needs to be set. So unrealistically speaking, to make $20,000 a month, or to be this top singer or a top performer or a top speaker, you must start at the beginning. The beginning is thankless. It really truly is. It really is the hardest place to be, the beginning. And it's also one of those places where everybody tries to talk you out of, and they tell you it's impossible. But if you can visualize yourself doing it, it is not impossible. It's a possible feat with very many possibilities of small little journeys within that. So to tell you that it's impossible, or when we should slow down, well, that's truly up to the individual themselves. How much can you do on your own? When do you need to delegate? When do you need to hire out? Do you have the money to do that? Have you built up your business enough to do that? Can you conquer the world? I don't know. It's up to you. So I don't limit anyone, but I do say that people have these unrealistic goals where they didn't look at the in between. So there is a journey for every destination. And that's what we really truly have to look at. We have to look at all the little journeys to get to the one big destination. Also, when you get to your big destination, there's going to be more goals. So that's pretty much how that works.
So basically, you are saying that look, it's good to set goals. It's good
Hmm.
to have big dreams, but you need to start from what seems like the easiest of them all or the closest of them all. So I like the analogy you used. So I want to make $20,000, but am I able to make $1 first of all? Right. So
Right.
you find especially young people, you find them these days they want to become rich, they want to become wealthy, right? But they are
Yeah.
not even paying. They are not even able to do any job or get a job that would even give them start them off without little money, or they're never able to save gradually. Now here's my
Right.
concern. So everybody wants to live healthy, everybody wants to enjoy sound health, sound mind, and all that. Now, how do you achieve this goal if you're not doing the basic things that you're expected to do? I don't know how it is in the US
Mm.
right now with COVID-19, but in my own country here, I mean, every day you hear the news of one person dying and all that, and you go around and people are throwing caution to the wind, no nose
Hmm.
mask, no social distancing and all that. Yet people want to enjoy sound health and sound mind.
Right.
How I'm using that as an example because it's something that
Hmm.
everybody desires. Not
Right.
everybody wants to. I mean, when you talk about being wealthy, there are different levels to these things of about being wealthy, right?
Hmm.
There are different levels to how much wealth a person wants to have. There are different levels to how many children, how many kids, the kind of family. Do you want to have a family?
Right.
But when it comes to
Hmm.
health, when it comes to sound mind, everybody, irrespective of age, irrespective of social orientation, irrespective of social status, wants to experience sound health. Now, my concern is something as important and as universal as sound health. Everybody desires it, yet
Mm.
people still struggle with doing the right thing. Would you
Yeah.
agree that sometimes we pay lip service to the dreams that we have?
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Sound mind. That begins very young. You got to remember that between the ages of 0 when you're born to about 7, you have no you don't have anything to go by, really. You really don't have anything to go by. So you're going by what you see around you. So we are a product of what we experienced growing up, and we're mimicking that. And a lot of times we get into these patterns where, we get lazy, or we just fall into what we are expected to fall into. These are things that are very hard to break, and sound mind is very hard to achieve when you're not doing what you really truly want to do in life. So, the achievement of making $20,000 a month may not be everybody's goal. It may just be to have a baby. You know how many women out there that can't have babies and they've been taking infertility shots. I mean, fertility shots, they're infertile. And they've been doing all kinds of different things and tracking their hormones and their heat and their this and their that. And their only goal in life is to have that one healthy child. That is a success within itself. So there are so many different goals that one can make. So we're not just talking financially, but health. Health is something that you have to have across the board, because if you don't have health, you can't be successful. You can't have a baby. You can't have a healthy life. You can't live to a long age. You can't work out. You can't do a lot of different things. So stepping back a little bit and knowing who you are, knowing what you're doing, feeling your body out, different things like that, meditation on whatever you believe, and actually stepping back and taking a breather. And once a week, I take a getaway. I get out. I don't do any work. Yesterday was my getaway. So I take a day to just be who I am, to be that person and go to a place where I know I can relax or let go and let loose. And so we have to actually look at ourselves, because we have this body, and this body is the body that's going to take you all the way to the end, whatever that may be. And so that health is going to be key to making any money, to having any success at all. And so learning who you are, relearning who you are, learning who you want to be. And then the hardest part about sound mind, the hardest part about becoming healthy and moving forward in your life is going to be letting go of the people that tell you opposite of what you really want to do. That's going to be the hardest part because you're connected to these people for a very long time. And so it doesn't mean necessarily that you have to kick them out of your life, but you have to kick them out of your well being. You have to let them go because if you don't, you're never going to accomplish what you want to accomplish. You have to surround yourself with people who are like minded because then you will learn a lot from them.
Thank you. Now you sing, right? You're a
Mm-hmm.
singer, and I looked through your pages, and you did not just start singing. You did not start singing yesterday. I'm sure you had this dream. You
Yeah.
it was something you wanted, and you pursued it, and now you run dream chasers, encouraging people, motivating people. So I love practicality. I love when I don't like when people come and say, "So luck smiled on me. I was lucky," and all that. Yes, luck smiled, and for those who practice one faith or the other, they will say grace, God did, and all that. So for me, I would want to ask, and I guess everyone who is watching or who will watch this or probably listen later on will want to know what steps did you take in terms of achieving your dream of being a singer? I mean, when I spoke with you earlier, you said you were out, and all that, you're busy and stuff. You did some things. You took steps, practical steps towards
Yeah.
achieving your dream, your goals. Could you share some of them with us?
You know, it's so funny because I started by just going to a restaurant, by going to inside of there, and I bought a system with a microphone and two speakers and an amp and a board, a small little Mackie board, and I said I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna start. And in 1991, I bought my kit. I bought all of it. I call it a kit. Um, I still have it today. It still works. And I went out and I told the restaurant owners that I would sing outside. I told them that I would sing for tips. And then they started ultimately paying me. I got a band together. I did background vocals. I did my own vocals. I signed with a couple of different record labels in South America, and a lot of the stuff went on the charts. Right now, I have a song on the top 10 chart in Brazil for a song I did with someone else. So it's like I actually sacrificed. You know, the one person that really inspired me was Jill Scott. She said it. She said it. Sometimes you just have to give away stuff. And for the first few years of her life, in her career in the music industry, she gave away her talent. She did stuff for free. You got to think, if this is what you're going to do, you have to create a value for it. And the only way to create a value is not to start with a value, but to give them your talent and show your value. So what I did was the same thing that she did. I went out, I booked my own stuff. I told them I would sing. And lo and behold, I moved to actually Southwest Florida. And within a year I got booked with a band called the Crashers. And they thought I was the bee's knees, and I was just growing and growing, and we were performing. And then the former lead singer of the Temptations actually picked us up as a band, and we did that for 8 years. So I did the Motown review, Motown Hitsville Live. It's called Hitsville Live Show, and it's about Motown with the former lead singer of the Temptations. I've opened up for the former ladies of the Supremes and Rare Earth and Aaron Neville and all of these people, Tower Power. But the one thing that happened, the one thing that I did was back in 1991, I said, I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do it. So I jumped in, and that was the beginning. Being willing to jump in and show your talent, show your worth. Then people see your worth and they start to give you what you're worth. That's basically how I started. And we're here today with Reverend Barry and the Funk. We do a lot of funk music. We've been endorsed by Tower Power. They love us. Um, God rest his soul. Eddie Money was one of the people that actually endorsed us. We have a lawyer. We have Artie Fletcher as our manager. I mean, it's going great. But I think people don't understand that my dream was to sing. I'm doing it. I'm successful. What kind of success do you want? And do you let other people judge you and give you your success by their own opinion? Or do you have an opinion, or do you have that validity in yourself to tell yourself, hey, I'm doing it. I've accomplished my dream. And that's where I am today. I'm not a millionaire. I'm not, Beyonce, but I am doing what I really want to do in life. And so I am successful.
Thank you so very much, Yaya. I have one important question. So, there is this thing about passion not putting food on your table. And sometimes when you tell older people that your dream is to be a musician, your dream is to be an actor, your dream is to be a sports person or thereabout, they'll say, no, pick a profession, go to
Right.
school, earn a degree, that will put food on your table. This will put food on your table. How do we convince the older generation that look, we can pursue our dream, we can pursue our passion and still
Mhm.
have it feed us? Because the truth of the matter is it's a big deal, this present age where children, kids, teenagers, adolescents tell their parents, look, this is who I want to become, this is what I
Mhm.
want to do. And there is this battle of no, you have to earn a degree first and all that.
Yeah.
How do you balance this idea of this is my dream versus what your parents, I mean, they are going to foot the bill perhaps. I mean, you got
Right.
the wisdom of going to a shop and say, you know what, I'm going to play and just tip me and all that. Perhaps not everybody has that opportunity. But
Mhm.
in your wisdom and with what you've experienced, as a person, what key pieces of advice would you give a young chap growing up who says, you know what, I want to be a musician? What advice
Mhm.
would you give such a person? And then you tell us about dream chasers.
Right. There is no advice I can give you on that. I'm gonna tell you why. Because there is no convincing. See, you can't convince an older person who has already lived their life that your life is worth living. Um, you have to show them. There is a saying, because I was raised by a baby boomer, of course. Born back in the 70s. I'm showing my age, but just to show you that you have to be you have to be moving toward your goal. You have to show them by action. Words are great, but actions are better. When I started Dream Chasers Radio, I was told they would never ever be a success. I was told, what are you doing? That's never going to make any money. That's never going to do anything. It's never going to reach anybody. What are you doing? You're wasting your time. But Dream Chasers Radio was my baby. And so my friends and people who told me this knew, and they looked at me and I looked at them and they said, "You're not listening to us, are you?" And I said the optimal word, "No." And they're like, "Well, you watch. This is never going to go anywhere." And today I'm on 100.9 FM iHeartRadio. I'm on 1580 AM. I'm on Amazon Fire. I have my own Roku TV stations. I have a Vimeo and a YouTube. I'm everywhere. But that was because I didn't listen to them. I moved. I showed action. Words are great. You could talk all you want, but unless you're showing a movement, unless you're showing action, then be prepared to fail. Be prepared to be wrong and let them be right, because that's what it takes. It's not so much convincing them, it's showing them by your actions. And this is your dream. And they live their life the way they wanted to live their life, and their opinions are great. But who is running your life? You or them? That's what you have to decide. And Dream Chasers Radio It's on dreamchasersradio.com. We air every Monday on 100.9 FM WCCF. That's iHeartRadio at 11 o'clock, right before Rush Limbaugh. I have Dream Chasers Radio on YouTube. We got Facebook, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Spreaker, Spotify, TuneIn, Deezer, Vimeo, Roku, YouTube. We have all different kinds of places where you can get Dream Chasers Radio. And the only reason that we had that was because, guess what? I just did it. And then I showed it to them. I didn't talk about it. I just did it. And that's why Dream Chasers Radio is. So there is no convincing anyone. The only person you have to convince is yourself.
Trust it. So go out there, start it. Basically, this is what you want to do. Just start it. You don't necessarily need to convince anybody. I remember
Yeah.
when I graduated and I decided I was going to go into mental health. A lot of people looked at me and they were like, "Mental health? What? He's talking about mental health? How many people are even interested in mental health? It's only someone who has eaten and is fully fed who would even think about his or her mental health, And here I am today, 5 years down the line, I'm still there, and it all started
Mm-hmm.
with a desire, a dream to see people educated, to see people know more and pay more
Mm.
attention to their mental health. Thank you so much, Yaya, for
That's right.
coming. I have really learned.
No
I really
problem.
learned that you don't need to seek validation. You don't need to seek
Mm.
permission. As long as you have that dream, own it like your baby. Go out there and start it out. God bless you. Thank you
That's
for
right.
coming, Yaya. So the dreamchasersradio.com everywhere. Just go to the internet and type Dream Chasers Radio. You would see it everywhere. Roku, Stitcher, everywhere. Yaya is not taking it easy with anyone. She wants you to
Yeah.
hear the right thing and hear about her. Wants to put herself in the sound of time that the years to come you're going to hear about. So what are you going to do concerning your dream? What are you going to do with your dream? Start from where you are.
That's
I
right.
have a friend,
Mm-hmm.
John Obino, who says, use what you have, for what you have is plenty. No matter how small it is, no matter how little it seems, what you
That's
have
right.
is plenty. Thank you very much,
That's
for
right.
coming. Get to hang out with
No
you some other
problem.
time. I'm sure you're going to answer me when I call on you again. So this is going to be right here on YouTube, and I'm going to take it on audio only to podcast as well. It's going to be out on Saturday on the podcast. So once it's out, I'll also let you know when it's out.
Okay.
Do have a great evening
Thank
over
you.
there.
You too.
Bye. So that was Yaya Diamond. Yaya is a singer. She's everything you can imagine. She's giving herself strictly to pursuing what a dream is. And she's asking you and telling you that, you know what? Go out there and do your thing. Go out there and be who you really want to be. The truth about every dream is that the thing about every dream is that you have to just go there and start it. You don't need to wait for permission of anyone, because if you wait for permission, you truly will never start. But you need to know that you have the responsibility. You own yourself. You owe yourself that responsibility to really start out your dream and watch it. Because everyone out there will think that something is wrong with you when you have a dream. But the moment you start, just give it time. Everyone who has looked down on you will begin to come to say, "Ah, did you do it? What did you do?" And a host of other things. So I want to encourage you tonight that this year, for the sake of your mental health, what is that dream that you have? Do not hold it back. Go out there, take that leap, and start it. Till I come your way again, I remain to the Chef Francis, aka the mentalist. Do share this with as many as you can, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye.